Welcome back to Luxury Auto One, where we bring you the most powerful stories shaking the world of fame, power, and controversy. Today's story has the whole world buzzing, a live television confrontation that left jaws on the floor and audiences stunned. It involves one of the most polarizing public figures of our time, Meghan Markle, and the seasoned, sharp-tongued journalist George Stephanopoulos. What started as a routine interview on Good Morning America spiraled into a moment that might go down as one of the most explosive in TV history. Buckle in, because this wasn't just a clash of personalities. This was a storm that no one saw coming. It was a bright Monday morning in New York City. The Good Morning America set was humming with its usual energy. Producers were getting ready for the show's high-profile guest, Meghan Markle, Duchess of Sussex. Her new memoir had just been released and was already dominating headlines. People were eager to hear from her, unfiltered. But no one, not even the producers, expected the storm that was about to break live on air. George Stephanopoulos had interviewed presidents, celebrities, and royalty before. But this interview felt different. From the moment Meghan walked onto the set, there was a tension in the air that you could almost feel through the screen. She greeted the other hosts with a polite smile, but her eyes lingered on George with a hint of caution. It was clear they had unfinished business. As the segment began, George started off cordial, easing into questions about the memoir. Meghan responded thoughtfully, expressing her desire to reclaim her voice and share her journey through the chaos of royal life and global media scrutiny. But George wasn't there to play nice the entire time. He shifted quickly into the harder questions, the ones about her family, her fallout with the royal institution, and her ongoing legal battles. His tone was clinical, pressing. "Some would say your version of the truth has changed over the years," he remarked, his voice cool. "How do you respond to critics who accuse you of rewriting history to suit your image?" Meghan's smile faltered. She glanced at the audience, then back at George. "I find it ironic," she replied, "that a man who's built a career deciding who gets to speak is questioning my right to share my experience." The audience went silent. George's eyebrows lifted, but he didn't back down. "But is it your experience," he asked, "when it contradicts the accounts of others involved?" Meghan leaned forward. "George, my story is mine to tell. Whether or not others are comfortable with it, I have every right to put it into words." At this point, the other hosts sensed the tension boiling. Robin Roberts tried to interject, steering the conversation toward lighter topics. But it was too late. The mood had shifted, and everyone knew they were witnessing something unprecedented. George pressed again. "But do you acknowledge that telling your version without including others' perspectives can be damaging?" Meghan sat back in her chair. The silence between them was sharp. "What's damaging?" she said finally, "is that women, especially women of color, are constantly told to be grateful, to be quiet, and to be small. I refuse to be any of those things." There was a brief round of applause from part of the audience. George didn't react. He simply turned the page in his notes and continued. "You've accused institutions and individuals of racism. That's serious. And yet you haven't named names. Doesn't that create speculation without accountability?" Meghan's eyes narrowed. "You want names? Or do you want healing? Because if you want healing, maybe you should stop looking for someone to blame and start listening to the people who've been hurt." And then it happened. George leaned in, voice low and deliberate. "But Meghan, do you ever think the hurt goes both ways? That maybe, just maybe, you've hurt people too?" There was no delay. Meghan stood up. She removed her microphone calmly, but her face showed nothing but fury and pain. "Thank you," she said, addressing no one in particular. "But this isn't a conversation. It's an ambush." The studio fell into stunned silence as she walked off the set, heels clicking, head held high. A producer ran after her, and Robin sat frozen, unsure whether to go to commercial or try to salvage the moment. George sat quietly for a moment, then looked into the camera. "We'll be right back," he said. Social media exploded instantly. Clips of the confrontation were reposted with captions like "Meghan vs. Georgie at TV War," "Duchess storms off set," and "Is this journalism or attack?" Viewers were split as some called George's questions fair, even overdue. Others condemned the segment as a targeted takedown. Within the hour, Meghan's publicist released a short statement, Meghan came to Good Morning America in good faith, to discuss her book and her journey. She was met with hostility masked as journalism. She stands by her truth and will not tolerate disrespect disguised as questions. ABC issued a brief comment saying the interview did not go as expected and that they respected all their guests. Behind the scenes, however, sources revealed chaos. The network was divided as some executives believed George had crossed the line. Others felt it was one of the most honest interviews the show had ever aired. But for Meghan, it was a new chapter, one that proved once again that being in the spotlight means never getting to choose the rules of the game. Still, she had made her point. She would not be silenced. George, for his part, remained quiet for the rest of the week. No follow-up statements, no comments. Just silence. But for the public, the debate raged on. Was this journalism or persecution? Truth-seeking or media theater? One thing was certain: this wasn't just a viral moment. It was a collision of two worlds, two ideologies, and two powerful voices refusing to yield. And in that collision, something undeniable happened. A storm hit Good Morning America. And no one will ever forget it. Thank you for watching Luke's Reato 1. If stories like this move you,